What you need to know about the Tide, it's always changing, but it always remains a relentless, destructive force of nature. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides. I'm a little pumped up today. First of all, I'm starting to feel better. That's good for you. That's good for me. But secondly, we are 16 days removed from the 2025 season. Fall recruiting is about to start. The 2027 recruiting class is starting. There's a lot going on to talk about, but the most exciting thing is the expectation around my Alabama Crimson Tide. If you're here, you're likely a Bama fan. If you're likely a Bama fan, that means you like to say Roll Tide. So go ahead and do that down in the comment box below before we get too far into the weeds here. While you're there, you can help us out tremendously by going ahead and subscribing, hitting the notification bell. It's a great place to get all of your Alabama opinions, news, analysis, all in one place, so you don't have to go searching for it. We do everything everybody else does. We just do it a little different. If you don't believe me, catch one of our lives on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. Sorry I wasn't there last night. Wasn't feeling great. But Alabama football is getting ready to start. Another scrimmage happens this weekend, and folks are really, really excited. They've named their starting quarterback. We've all seen the photo of Jam Miller looking like he freaking has been shooting himself up with steroids all year. We know the wide receivers are good. We know the secondary is good. The biggest question mark is, are the tight ends going to be good, and who's going to kick the damn ball? Outside of that, the expectation is there. We got Ryan Grubb in Tuscaloosa. Everything is in place for Alabama to return back to the top of the mountain in college football in 2025, and I believe it's going to happen for several reasons that don't happen on the football field. I told you, I'm pumped up and I'm excited. Throughout the spring, following the recruiting visits, we've been telling you that something looked different. Something felt different at Alabama. Shortly after we were kind of saying it, players started coming out and saying it. Recruits, their families started coming out and saying it. The culture at Alabama has shifted. It has changed. It has changed. Last year was very loosey-goosey, if you will. Hashtag loosey-goosey down in the comments below, chat. Last year was weird. It was a wash. It was a year zero. We've heard many a story of toxic locker rooms and players putting themselves above the team. Folks not being at practice on time. Ice cream trucks and shooting Jays on fourth down. Those days are over. Those days are gone. Go listen to Ryan Grubb. Dude ain't playing around. Sorry, Nick Sheridan, you had your shot. You failed. We're happy that you stayed on board. But, man, the moment was too big for you. Sorry, Jalen Milroe. Thank you for your service to the University of Alabama, but we are moving on. Because it's time for Ty Simpson in Tuscaloosa. Now, like I said, the players are there. Everything's there. But what's really standing out, what's really different is the culture around the Tide that is shifting, that is changing, that is evolving with college football. It's happening at every level of the program, in the administrative offices, in recruiting, in team meetings, and on the field. There is a level of nastiness, cockiness, swag that has been missing for a couple of years. Players coming out saying, we want to be violent. All disrespect will be handled accordingly. You better buckle up if you got to tackle Jam Miller. The standard remains the same. Listen, the tide is always changing, ebbing, flowing, in, out. But one thing remains, it will drown your ass if you are not prepared for it. Like that? That's a soundbite for sure. Alabama in 2025 is ready. not just with the pieces, not just with the talent, the mentality of this team. They have bought in completely, entirely to what Kalen DeBoer is selling. Ryan Grubb is there. Things are in place, and I'm hyped. I hope to God that I'm not hyped for no reason. I know every other fan base will come in here and go, oh, they're going 8-4. Blah, blah, blah. FSU fans will come in here off a 2-10 season. They're going 8-4. You got a BC reject at quarterback, bro. The adults are talking. Go back to the kiddie table. Freaking Bama. My username on X, by the way. Follow me. Friggin Bama feels different. It feels like the days of old where we knew going into the season that Bama was a force of nature. The tide would wreak havoc on the shores of college football, washing away the sands bit by bit in the SEC until nothing was left but water. And it feels like that. And it feels like that because the shift from year one to year two has been so dramatic. You've got kids on the team who last year were concerned with everything outside of football. Ryan Williams has said it himself. He was going through so much external stuff. And it wasn't just him. That external stuff bled into the locker room. I think Jalen Milroe was responsible for some of it, if you want me to be perfectly candid with you. But it's washed away. And Bama, it's a new day. And what's best is, I love this because people start looking at it going, wait a minute. Everybody wants to crap on Alabama when Nick Saban leaves, but people start taking a step back going, wait a minute. This is still one of the best rosters in the country. Wait a minute. They've got a head coach who has been extremely successful everywhere he's been. Wait a minute. They had a top 10 defensive unit last year. Oh, Ty Simpson was a 5-star coming out of high school, recruited by just about everybody in the country. Wait a minute. Please. Now, as the season has started, On3, SEC Network, ESPN, all these big voices out there are starting to go, wait, hold on, pump the brakes. This might be something. This offense, if it clicks, big if, might be something. Alabama might have something here. Have you guys seen how good Kalen DeBoer has been in his second year everywhere he goes? Have you? When you're done here, go watch the other videos on this channel because I talk about it all the time. The dude came in at the worst possible time he could have. Nick Saban didn't do him any favors by retiring when he did. And Bama still only lost 3 regular season games last year on the road. That's not acceptable at Alabama. I'm with you. I admit that. I agree with you. But hell, it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Ask Auburn. Bama is steadily in a very good position this season. Very good. They've got some challenges on the schedule. Going some of these places they've got to go is not going to be easy. They've got to stay healthy. Kane Womack has to fix the middle of that defensive line and stop the inside run. But everything verbally coming out, everything from Ryan Grubb about Ty Simpson at this quarterback position, the players saying when he starts, what he's going to do is going to be shocking to fans. I didn't say that. Nobody else said that. A player said that. I can't remember exactly who, so I'm not going to tell you who. And it's not just coach speak. These guys believe in themselves. The belief is there to get back to the top of the mountain. And who better to pull the SEC out of the early grave that the Big Ten has verbally put them in than its flagship program, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Who better? Georgia? Nah. Texas? No. They're going 9-3 this year. Florida? No. They can't stay healthy. LSU? Maybe, but probably not. It's Alabama, folks. Everything works on a curve. It's always been Alabama. They don't want to admit it because they hate it. It makes them sick to their stomach. But it's always going to be Alabama. Imagine, if you will, if 2024 is the bottom, the lowest of the low of that curve. And there's nowhere to go but up. They don't want to talk that narrative because it's not good for the sport. Alabama being at the top, again, without Nick Saban, is detrimental to the entire sport of college football. Because it means one brand is so strong, the others can't compete for long-term success. Everything works on a curve. It won't always be that way, but it'll always go back to being that way, just like it has for decades and decades and decades. This is why Charles Barkley told Auburn fans that it doesn't matter if they play 100 years of football, they will never have the tradition that Alabama has. They think the tide has gone out to sea. Guess what? When the moon's just right, the tide rises. When all the elements are perfect, the tide rises and beats the hell out of the shores. Get ready, folks. Get ready. I'm hype. I'm telling you. I feel like Bama is in prime position to knock one out of the park in 2025. Tell me below if I'm right or wrong. If you're not an Alabama fan, I'm sure you're going to say I'm wrong, but your opinion doesn't matter today. I'm hype. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down. Beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide! All that just for an elephant. Roll Tide, y'all.